glorious fake jazz. Hey folks, how are you all doing? I hope you're washing your hands, staying inside, not touching your face, and driving your significant other crazy. I've already told you this, but I've received a lot of lesson requests. That doesn't mean if you're interested in Skype lessons, you shouldn't send in a lesson request. It just means you might end up on a wait list, or I might recommend another teacher. Thanks everyone for hanging in there with me, and let's talk some guitar. So I was hanging out with a student, and we were working on some basic bebop lines. And I am not a bebop guitar player. I'm a bluegrass guitar player, obviously, but I still felt I could help in this arena. And we kind of came up with this funny formula for the first couple changes in rhythm changes, right? Rhythm changes, if you don't know, by the way, is this really standard chord progression that comes up all the time. There's so many tunes that have these similar chord changes that if you learn how to play over these first four chords, it could help you a lot in just general swing bebop repertoire. So without getting into too much detail about contrafacts and blah, 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 let's learn how to play this chord change, and then I'm going to teach you a bunch of licks that you can play over this chord change and how I created the licks so you can make your own. And hopefully that'll get the ball rolling in your jazz life. The chords are B flat 6 if I voice it like this. This would be B diminished 7, maybe even like that. Next, this could be a C minor 7 or a C minor 6, depending on how you're feeling. And then an F7 or an F9. These two chords would both work depending on how you're feeling. Basically, I'm talking about upper extensions here. There's always going to be a couple choices for the upper extensions that you can make. So let's pick a couple and let's stick with them. There's a real simple kind of shell voicing way to play this. So for the B flat 6 chord, what I'm doing is I'm barring on 5th fret, and then with my middle finger I'm getting that B flat note. With my ring finger I'm playing 6th fret on the B string, and then with my pinky I got 7th fret on the G string. That's what you should end up with. Now this chord, like I said, it's B flat 6. It is our one chord, so it's the first chord that we play. The next chord that we're going to play is that B diminished 7. We're actually only going to be voicing 3 strings on the fretboard when we play this. Like I said, shell voicing kind of situation, right? We're just playing part of the chord. And that sounds like that. And I'm playing my E string, my D string, and my G string. Everything else is muted. And I'm playing 7th fret, 6th fret, 7th fret. So 7th fret on low E, 6th fret on the D string, and 7th fret on the G string. There you go. That would be the B diminished 7, or at least part of it. Now the next chord, I'm going to treat as C minor 6 instead of C minor 7. And I'm taking the exact same shape and I'm moving it up a fret. So I end up with 8th fret on the low E string, 7th fret on the D string, and 8th fret on the G string. And now to switch to the next chord, which would be F7 or F9, depending on where you're going with that, I'm just going to move my middle finger up a string here, higher in pitch when I say up. So I end up with 8, 7, 8. And that would be like a little F7 chord. And this time 8th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the D string, 8th fret on the G string. So the full chord change together, if you want to play it with me, basically doing 2 pumps on each chord. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is not really the rhythm changes chord progression. There's more to rhythm changes. Like I said, these are just the first couple measures. So this is really getting you started on a system that could apply to a lot of standard bluegrass tunes. Oh, I almost said it. A lot of simple swing tunes. So let's take our first lick. Let's learn how to play it. So let me show it to you. And now we can start talking about the formula I'm using, how I'm making these licks, because they are very formulaic, and you will see in every single one of these there's lots of similar devices being used. When I play over the B flat chord, I'm using a lot of the basic language that I already know from bluegrass. So in this case, I'm using a minor third. That's what that chromatic part is. So right, I have my major third, my minor third to my second, down to the root. Very common phrase. For the B diminished 7 chord, this is a diminished arpeggio. No, that's actually really easy to make these. It's a ridiculous pattern that's so easy. I'm going to show you how to do it. When I'm playing those arpeggios, they always follow the same system. So let me show it to you real quick. It's basically a diagonal pattern. It looks like this. So if you ever want to make one of these, I'm basically starting on a chord tone of B diminished 7. So I could start on like the F note, I could start on the B note, I could start on like this A flat, I could start on, what is this, like a D. There's lots of notes I could possibly start on, but they all kind of do the same thing. If you're having trouble thinking about what are the chord tones of B diminished 7, you can think of B flat 7. But replace the B flat with a B natural. Those would be all the chord tones that you could start the scale on. How the scale works is starting on this F, how about? I'm playing F with my index finger, and then with my pinky, I'm gonna reach out, I'm gonna play A flat, so that's 1st fret and 4th fret. Now I scoot everything up a fret and then up a string. Up a fret, up a string. Up a fret, up a string. This time, since I'm crossing the B string, I have to go a little bit farther. I have to go, still going up 1 string, but I have to go across 2 frets. So I bet if you watch me play it now, it'll make a lot more sense. And so going back to our lick, let's look back at that specific phrase. When I play that line, those are notes from that kind of scale. Normally in that scale, we would play like this. Right? So this note with the pinky, I'll show you in the tab, instead of playing it up here, I've actually moved it to 1st fret. It's still the same note. So every time we play over the B diminished 7 chord, we're going to use that system. Now every time we play over the C minor 7 chord, we're going to pick chord tones. So in relation to C minor 7, I have the 5 of the chord, I have that minor 3rd, I have the root, and then I have the 7th. This is every note that's in that chord. And now for the end, every time we end over this F7 chord, we're going to play 2 chord tones that are either a 3rd or a 6th apart. So that's the 6th apart, as in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the line together. Oh, what glorious fake jazz. This is the exact same system, and it's important that you see that. I'm using the exact same thing. So before I even play it, let's analyze it real quick and let's see if we can see that. So over the B flat chord, right? This time I'm moving up a cage shape. So I'm thinking out of that G pentatonic or caged box, depending on how you want to look at it. It's very basic note choice, just pentatonic notes. Once again here, these are from that diagonal scale. Same kind of situation. We can actually see the C minor chord in this line, right? If I hold down the C minor chord, and that next note would be the 7th. C minor 7. There it is. And then over the F chord, look, 2 chord tones, this time a 3rd apart. As in 1, 2, 3. So this new line sounds like this. Ah, feels like the real deal. Ignore my pick strokes, please. Moving on to the next one. So now we're looking at the E shape this time. You'll see that I've included just a little bit more jazzy stuff, maybe. Let's talk about what happened here. So when I play over this B flat chord now, I'm thinking about this B flat chord. I played this line. Now, this right here is an enclosure. I guess you can call it a chromatic enclosure. I'm playing right above the 3rd, right below the 3rd, and then I'm finally playing the 3rd. So with scale degrees, that would be the 4th, that would be the minor 3rd, and that would be the major 3rd. Thinking relative to B flat, right? From there, I hop up a 6th. Right up to that B note. because we're playing over B diminished 7 now. That's a little bit less of our diminished scale this time, right? You know, what's Marcel thinking here? Well, I'm actually enclosing another note. This is another chromatic enclosure, right? This time I'm circling what would be the 5th of the C minor 7 chord. Over the C minor 7 chord, so again, you're getting a lot of chord tones. And then we're getting another 6th interval over the F7 chord. So here we go. All right, let's keep going. Always more to look at here. So continuing through the cage system, now we're at the D shape. The D shape is one of my favorite boxes, and I've said that before. So this line sounds like this. It's very cool. It's in a strange spot on the neck. So I want you to see what I'm imagining when I play that. There's a B flat chord right there. It's like this little D chord shape. Like I took a D chord and I scooted it up till it was a B flat. And this little peak is where we start our line. When we get to C minor 7, that C minor chord is the one that I'm working out of, barring on 8th fret. Here, when I end on F, there's the F chord that we're thinking out of. That's how that line makes sense. Once again, it's very formulaic, very pentatonic over B flat. I'm playing that diminished scale over the B diminished 7. I'm playing chord tones over the C minor 7. Look, I even included the 7th again. And then once again, I'm playing that either a 3rd interval or a 6th interval over the F7. So the very last one looks like this. This one's very a very sweet little run too. Once again, I'm thinking about that D shape, right? So I'm enclosing the 3rd, and then I'm playing the root. Once again, we see our diminished arpeggio for sure. C minor 7 chord tones. And then ending the F7 chord with a 3rd. Right, it's pretty formulaic though, right? And these lines are at least fairly convincing to the layman, right? Oh, my shirt transformed into this Tony Rice t-shirt. No, it's just me from the next day. I'm filming this late. If you like that lesson, I'm sure I'll put up the tab on my website. That's lessonswithmarcel.com. There you can get a lot of merch like this shirt. You can sign up for Skype lessons, yada, yada, yada. You guys all know the stuff you can do. Please check it out. I appreciate it a bunch. We'll see you soon for another lesson. Oh, did I say like, comment, subscribe? I'm a YouTuber. I'm literally bound to say that. Like, comment, subscribe.
When that train comes tumbling down from the mountains cold, we ring them bells at the crossroads.